What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and hopefully you guys are having a fantastic 4th of July weekend. If you guys are celebrating, the weather's pretty crappy by me, so a lot of plans just got canceled, but it does look like we got some brand new information about the gameplay reveal, which is actually happening this month for Modern Warfare 4. Definitely stay tuned. As you guys may have seen, the France football team does have Modern Warfare 4 themed suitcases. Don't think there's anything more to that as far as, let's say, marketing or any additional promos that are going to happen during the World Cup, but never say never. I mean, typically every year at around this time, athletes are being flown to Infinity Ward or whatever studio is putting out the game that year, and they'll end up doing like a little demo test. Instagram stories go up. Wouldn't be shocked if you start seeing some other gameplay snippets from various athletes, whether it's soccer, basketball, football related. You may see that in the coming weeks leading up to what's going to end up being the full beta. And I would also assume that athletes are going to be playing on a very similar, if not a more updated build to what the creators got to play just a few weeks back when I was over at Infinity Ward. But speaking of Infinity Ward, just yesterday, this was posted on their Twitter. From the Ward was all about bringing you a closer look at the process, passion, and people at the studio. New episodes are currently in production with more MW4 stories to tell. If there's something that you've been wanting to hear more about, let us know. What should we cover next? So they've done a good amount of episodes thus far. I think they released them all pretty close to one another, and that's fine, but it's been a little radio silent throughout just about the last half of June. I would definitely expect, at least after the 4th of July, for them to ramp up some more marketing again about MW4, and I do believe they're going to end up talking a lot about this game throughout the entire month of July, but we'll probably take a break right around like the 23rd-ish, which is when Season 5 is going to be dropping for Black Ops 7. That week will probably just be slotted to BO7, but considering they have a separate account now for live seasons, they might do some overlapping where MW4 is still getting some pretty aggressive marketing and announcements, even while Black Ops 7 is getting its second to last season to round out the rest of this summer. But I did put a reply under this tweet. We'll love to see a lot more, especially with this documentary series regarding progression, prestige, obviously camos, and even DMZ, because even I didn't know that the full DMZ reveal actually hasn't happened yet, right? I assumed that with the Summer Games Fest gameplay reveal of DMZ, and then obviously the embargoes that I lifted for creators and the press to talk about it, I thought that would represent the full DMZ showcase and the full first reveal, but apparently not. That was just a sneak peek, and an actual big first look is still scheduled for later this summer, whether it's at a COD Next or let's say a separate random week in July or August where they talk all about it, drop more blog posts, a full-on gameplay trailer, and they can finally show us like the actual inventory, backpack UI, and a bunch of the actual loot that we're going to be extracting later this year. And it goes without saying, there's a lot of marketing left for this game. I mean, we haven't gotten a full reveal of just about anything yet, just little bits of footage here and there, especially of multiplayer. And then when it comes to campaign, typically every year we end up getting, let's say, a good like 8 to 10 minute gameplay walkthrough of one of like the middle missions of that campaign. That is probably going to be happening for MW4 since they seem to be pretty proud of the game itself. It's not like a case with Black Ops 7 where they clearly just were not really confident in the campaign itself, to where no early gameplay was actually revealed for it, apart from what you saw in the reveal trailer. And I also have to address the big one that I know a lot of people are wondering about, Warzone. Usually at around a COD Next is when they talk more about Warzone, how the integration's gonna work, a possible release window for the first season when Warzone ends up connecting to everything. That's a big mystery right now. All that we do know officially is that as of June, which of course the month has passed, you're no longer able to access the in-game store if you're playing Warzone on a PS4 or an Xbox One, and then by Season 1 of Modern Warfare 4, which is probably gonna be at some point close to this winter, you'll no longer be able to play Warzone at all on a last-gen console, but you of course are still able to finish Season 5 and 6 of Black Ops 7 if you have Warzone installed. You also can no longer download Warzone on a last-gen platform if you don't already have it on your console. But that again is coinciding with the fact that Call of Duty is moving on from last-gen hardware and will only be available to play with its brand new updates on a PS5, Xbox Series console, and of course your PC. I know a big reset is probably inevitable for Warzone, but there's also a big question mark regarding any of the cosmetics, weapons, characters. Will any of that from Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops 7 be usable at all with the new Modern Warfare Warzone maps? And also, what does that mean for the current slate of maps? Are they on a rotation? Will they work with MW4 movement? Lots of questions that I don't believe we're going to hear more about until maybe some point in August. Nintendo has also seemingly broken a little bit of silence about the next Call of Duty, since we all know MW4 is coming to the Switch too, but you currently can't pre-order the game on that platform yet, and apparently a separate reveal for Nintendo is also scheduled for this summer. I would assume that they'll take a day to probably post some gameplay or some cool shots in a blog post of what the game looks like on Nintendo Switch 2, once again confirming that apparently there's going to be nothing missing in the Switch 2 port of the game compared to what you're able to play on a PlayStation or an Xbox. And yes, a different studio is going to be responsible for bringing MW4 to the Nintendo, and that studio is the same one that was responsible for bringing Warzone Mobile to life a couple of years ago. They did confirm in a recent blog that there are 12 6v6 maps available day one, of course excluding Killblock, which we're going to get to in a second, and of course your big ground war spaces. And I know it's a hot take, but I don't really mind like a good 20 weapons during launch, maybe a solid 12 maps day one, so that they could save a lot more for the live season, so that the updates feel bigger and better every time. And you could be looking at, a minimum 4 to 5 MP maps, a good like 5 to 6 weapons every single major update. I'm cool with that, since launch is usually really busy anyway, and having less weapons or less maps hopefully does mean a better DLC season because of it, but I totally get it if you were hoping for, let's say, like 16 maps day one, which technically you're still gonna see if you count the different arenas in the Killblock map as individual spaces, which could also be broken off and released separately later. Now, Infinity Ward did reveal this video clip just this past afternoon of the big Killblock space, which is actually going to be playable from July 16th through the 19th to the general public in New York City. So as we talked about a couple of times now at the Fanatics Fest, this kind of marks the first time in almost a decade where the general public can just get tickets to this event, walk in, and get their hands on the brand new Call of Duty before the MP reveal has even really happened yet. And I've talked about this map quite a bit already, especially in my MP map focus video a few weeks back. Essentially, the arenas within this space will change during your match, and even in between rounds if you're playing something like 10v10 Gunfight, which is available day one, or of course Search and Destroy. Now, I do believe this map is going to support regular respawn modes at some point later, but it is obviously intended, the most at least, for your round-based experiences. And you are going to be looking at remastered spaces day one like Shoot House, Kill House, and even Crash, amongst a bunch of other original spaces that are also going to rotate while you're in a game of Killblock. And this could be a little stretch, but I do believe that's the high-rise multiplayer map, which we of course originally saw in Modern Warfare 2.09. It's come back a couple of times now, but that could be a space we end up seeing in this arena of Killblock. Doesn't necessarily rule out the possibility, like I was saying earlier, of them separating that space and making it its own 6v6 multiplayer map for regular respawn. I do believe that'll end up happening with a lot of the maps that are currently in Killblock right now. And this also wasn't a space that I got to see when I played Killblock back at the studio. And there are probably a ton of other arenas that aren't going to get revealed at any point until maybe closer to the beta, because this experience probably will be playable in the beta, and there'll probably be other surprises tied to Killblock, which we'll end up seeing day one in October. It's also really the first map of its kind for Call of Duty multiplayer that literally evolves as you're playing it. And from what I heard at Infinity Ward, they do commit to adding more spaces to this experience as the seasons go on, because I do believe it's going to be one of the more popular modes that people are going to be jumping into, hence why it was chosen as the mode that people are going to be playing during the Fanatics Fest demo in just a couple of weeks from now. But what's crazy is that at the end of this video clip, which by the way, I do think they'll end up dropping other teasers, maybe even an Infinity Ward documentary episode before Fanatics Fest, that'll probably detail a little bit more here, but at the end of this specific video, it does confirm a gameplay reveal is happening during the Fanatics Fest. So a gameplay first look video should be going up on the Call of Duty YouTube channel, probably like the day before this happens, or the day of the Fanatics Fest. It's kind of a crazy weekend though, because you have the World Cup going on, you also have COD Champs that very same weekend, which I guess the timing couldn't have been any better because Fanatics Fest was already planned for that weekend too. And it does raise a big question though, is this the full MP reveal that we're going to be getting, or is this just like a small deep dive into just Killblock, limited footage of a couple of different maps? Is it the reveal that everybody is waiting for or not? I mean, it's kind of weird to see that MW4 of all games might be the game where they don't do a big COD Next event, where they of course invite streamers to like a big venue and they're streaming live. It might not happen this year. I mean, they started the COD Next formula with Modern Warfare 2. It probably wasn't that big of a hit for them for a game like Black Ops 7 since the game did underperform. The event was fantastic, but I'm sure looking at the in-game sales and the fact that it was on Game Pass day one, I'm sure when they put all that together with the amount it cost to set up that event in Las Vegas last year, they probably weren't too happy about that. So they may have actually hindered the potential for a Modern Warfare 4 COD Next or for that format of event to happen ever again. Now, you also have Gamescom happening on August 26th until the 30th, so that's also around the time we've seen COD Next before. We certainly saw COD Next for BO6 on around that weekend. The beta for the game started about, I think it was early September, around the week later. So you could totally see an MP reveal being fully pushed back to Gamescom if there's no COD Next, and then this little gameplay preview at Fanatics Fest is just a small taste of what is actually yet to come. But regardless of what happens, even if it's just during the week of July 16th, could be the 13th, could be the 15th, I'll be live streaming here on the channel with a full breakdown and reaction to whatever is showcased on Infinity Ward's socials. There could be a full MP reveal, just limited gameplay. I'll still be covering all that. I won't be in New York City for the Fanatics Fest, but if I do this again this year for like a separate event at around this time, I'll be more prepared. Could probably do a vlog or something with other creators and get my hands on the game before it even comes out again. I also got to point out that this could just be a very unusual year for the way they're marketing a new COD, and it might go back to the old formula next year because they usually do a Code Bowl stream right after COD Next, and that didn't happen this year. Code Bowl happened on the NASCAR track about, what was it, 2 weeks ago, and COD Next obviously isn't happening right now, so very different strategy for how they're doing certain things this time around, and I wonder if that's a reflection of what is to come with a very different marketing strategy for MW4, or is it just a one-off because dates are all over the place this year, there's a lot of overlap, and of course they're using Fanatics Fest as a good opportunity to get people's hands on the game before they even play the beta. And it is entirely possible during Fanatics Fest, whether it's during a gameplay preview or just during the showcase itself at the venue, they could also end up announcing whether or not there is a COD Next, or when the beta specifically is going to be, or they might come out and say, hey guys, stay tuned for a full-on big showcase of multiplayer at Gamescom in late August. That could be a big day when they end up announcing something, while COD Champs is also a big opportunity on that very same weekend where they could also say more about the multiplayer. Usually COD Champs is used to say something about the next COD, whether it's like, hey, stay tuned later this summer, or stay tuned for this next big event. That's usually when they give some context and clarity on when the next reveal could be. So again, I do think that weekend regardless is going to be very informative.